What is good, YouTube? And today we're going to be doing a new look Detroit Pistons rebuild. Before we get into this video, I just want to ask you guys simply to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We are getting so close. We're at 4,900 the last time I checked, 4,905 to be exact. 95 subs away, almost less than 100 away from reaching our goal for 5,000 subs before the end of the month. Once we reach 5,000 subs, we're doing a giveaway. I think I'm going to give away a gift card to somebody of their choice, maybe even 2 gift cards. We'll see. I'm not sure yet, but other than that, guys, we're gonna go ahead and do a new look Detroit Pistons rebuild today. So I've heard some of you guys' feedback and I will be listening to it. So I will be doing this video and making it somewhat realistic. So I've been doing realistic rebuilds on these lately, and you know, they've been all right, but I've only won a championship in like one of those videos so far, which was the Grizzlies, surprisingly. And I want to try to, you know, win more championships than just that, because that's what you guys like to see at the very end. And of course, I'm going to try for that. So that's what I will be doing today. I'm going to try to make these somewhat realistic. So if there are moves that, you know, aren't all the way realistic, just know I warned you in the beginning. But other than that, guys, this Detroit Pistons team, you know, they didn't do too much this offseason. They drafted Sekou Doumbouya. They signed Markieff Morris, traded for Tony Snell. They got Derrick Rose, which probably was their best acquisition of the offseason. And then Reggie Jackson's still here, which we expected. I honestly expected him, you know, to be shopped in trade offers as like a salary filler, and then they could trade it like Luke Kennard with. I don't know, man. I just thought the Pistons would do a little bit more than just this, but they did not. So what I want to do is, I don't want to play Reggie Jackson as shooting guard. I don't really want to do that. Is he listed as shooting guard? I definitely don't want to do that. So I want Reggie Jackson. I know Derrick Rose fans probably want him to start. And maybe we could start in this first season for the hell of it, because I really don't expect this first season to be anything spectacular by any means. So Derrick Rose, and then Reggie Jackson or Luke Kennard can start at the shooting guard. Tony Snell, Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond, Reggie Jackson off the bench, Sekou Doumbouya, Markieff Morris, and Kyrie Thomas. So yeah, that's what we're going to be running here. Svi Mykhailiuk and Tim Frazier. I actually kind of want to start Svi Mykhailiuk and send Sekou Doumbouya to the G League. I think that's what I'm going to do, because I don't expect this first season, and he goes up to an 80 overall if you move him to small forward. So I mean, that's already a cheat code, so we're going to be using that to our advantage. And then like I said, we're going to move or Tony Snell will, you know, be the starting small forward, and then we'll have Thon Maker step into the rotation as well. See Mykhailiuk, Tim Frazier. Is there anybody else that I could send to the G League? I could send Jordan Bone, who also they did draft. I forgot about him. So we'll go ahead and send him there as well, so we can use the G League to our advantage. And then the Jordan Bone, we'll send him there. Can we send anyone else? We could maybe send Svi Mykhailiuk as well. Let's go ahead and send Svi Mykhailiuk there. And I think that's all I'm going to do. So for this first season, like I said, not really expecting too much for this, you know, Detroit Pistons team, but it is a 3.5 star rating. So, you know, maybe we can sneak into the playoffs. If not, I hope we have our first round pick, and we do. So yeah, I mean, that's cool with us. So I'm going to go ahead and simulate the end of the season, and let's see how this team does. At the end of the season, we went an abysmal 31-51. So we weren't even a playoff team, and you know, that's all right, because we got some changes to make on this roster anyway. First thing I'm going to do is probably trade Blake Griffin. Now, Blake Griffin has recently been interviewed by Jimmy Fallon, I think it was, or one of those guys, one of those late show guys, and I don't know if this was real or not. I just read it on Instagram, and it was like a picture, and it could have been fake. Very well could have been faked, but you know, I would have traded him regardless, because I just kind of want, because I've done Pistons rebuilds before and I've always kept him, but this time I'm going to trade him. And basically he said, well, they were talking about how free agency has been so crazy, and Blake Griffin was basically like, yeah, the Clippers, it just started complimenting all the other teams, but he said besides the Pistons. So he kind of just, you know, threw crap at his own team that he is right now. So I just thought that was interesting. So yeah, I'm going to probably trade him today. But for the draft lottery, let's see what pick we could land. So we are projected the 4th pick overall at a 12.5% chance to get the #1 overall pick. And we end up dropping we get the 2nd pick overall. I'll take that. That is awesome. So staff signing, Dwayne Casey, you know, I might end up firing him as well. He's a decent, you know, good coach in real life, but I think I'm just going to reset my whole staff. I think that's what the plan is here. So Ed Scott, I'm going to fire him as well. So I'm going to reset the whole staff. Even these guys over here, I'm just going to reset this whole thing. Greg Popovich is available. Roy Williams, you know, Greg Popovich, balance, Marlon Garrett. Do I want, so let's Mike K, defense. You know what? I really have respect for Greg Popovich on the Spurs, so I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to get this guy. Gino, which you guys let me know last time who this guy was. He's a very respectable head coach out of some college. I forgot what it was, but head scout. I'm gonna go ahead and get him, and let's just sign all of those guys, and let's get a good assistant GM, and let's get a good CFO. If we can complete that, we'll have a very good staff for the foreseeable future. Very nice. So we have the second pick overall. Like I said, I'm hoping to land Anthony Edwards here if we can, but let's go ahead and see. Or RJ Hampton. We need a point guard, just somebody. LaMelo Ball, is he in this draft class? I can't remember. James Wiseman's taken number 1 overall. So let me see who we get here now. So the second pick overall, we go Anthony Edwards, we go RJ Hampton. Anthony Edwards is the better prospect, and we do need a starting small forward as well. So I've gotten Anthony Edwards before though. RJ Hampton I have not gotten in a while. I'm torn here though. Do I want Anthony Edwards to start at the small forward, or do I want RJ Hampton to start the point guard? I have Derrick Rose, but I still don't really want Derrick Rose to start. I want him to be the 6th man. I don't have a starting small forward. I'm torn. Siri, I need you. Oh, my phone was plugged in. That was bad. Okay, anyway. Siri, pick a number 1 through 2. Okay, I don't know if you guys heard that. My phone was way too low. But we get number 2, RJ Hampton. She chose number 2. If you guys didn't hear that, sorry if you didn't. But we'll go ahead and take RJ Hampton here. I've got Anthony Edwards in past rebuilds before anyway, so I'm okay with that. I'll take Ashton Higgins here. Maybe he could be the starting point guard. We'll see. But, you know, after we cut, I'm definitely going to plug my phone back in because I just, like, totally ripped it off the wall. But, no, I think it's all right. I guess I could have taken LaMelo Ball as well, but, you know, it's whatever. So, Steve McCullough, we're going to bring back Tony Snell. It's going to be our starting small forward, of course, because he's the beast. Best NBA player ever. Thon Maker. I don't think I'm going to bring that man back. I think I'm just going to go ahead and let him walk. So, salary cap table as far as this is concerned, we have negative $10 million. So, Reggie Jackson renounced. Galloway renounced. Thon Maker renounced. Markieff Morris wouldn't be a bad guy to bring back, but I'm not going to worry about him. So, look at our positions right now. We have Mr. RJ Hampton and Derrick Rose at the point guard. Jordan Bone at the point guard, who's 6'3". We have Luke Kennard and Kyrie Thomas. We have Sekou Demboya. Oh, wait. I totally forgot about Sekou Demboya. Totally forgot. You guys are probably screaming at me when I was saying I don't have a starting small forward right now. So, I'm so glad I took RJ Hampton. Like, really glad that Siri picked RJ Hampton because I totally forgot about Sekou Demboya. But Blake Griffin, definitely going to trade the man. And I'm probably going to go for a starting shooting guard if I can find one. So Blake Griffin and a second round pick or something. Let's just see if that could give me anything interesting. We could get Chris Middleton, who's 28 years old, from the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Bucks to get Blake Griffin, who could play next to Giannis. And, you know, it wouldn't be too shabby. And Blake Griffin expires faster than Chris Middleton does, so maybe his contract's just way too big. John Collins. I said I would be somewhat realistic, and this trade is just not realistic at all. At all. So, Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray. If we needed a point guard still, I might do it. DeMar DeRozan got him in the Magic video. John Wall. We have RJ Hampton. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab Chris Middleton from the Milwaukee Bucks. Not somebody I get very often. And we get a nice throw in Thomas Bryant, who's going to be a nice backup center for us. So, we get rid of Blake Griffin's contract, and we get a guy like Chris Middleton, who, you know, hopefully can be somewhat decent over here in Detroit, where he used to play. So I'm going to move him to the starting shooting guard. RJ Hampton's going to start the point guard. Derrick Rose is going to be the 6th man. Kennard's going to come off the bench for Chris Middleton. Sekou Demboya is going to start the small forward. Steve McCullough will back him up. Now we don't really have a backup power forward, but we have a backup center. So could we get a decent backup power forward on the market? Could we afford Siakam? That would be awesome if we could, but obviously, we're probably not going to be able to afford him. Parker. Marcus Morris Sr., who used to play with Detroit. Let me see what affordable power forwards we have. Bielitsa. Okay, so this isn't going to work. Who do we have? Negative $15 million, and we still have Tony Snell on the roster, I think, which we could trade his contract as well. So let's find a trade for him. So Tony Snell and let's say like Bruce Brown, and let's just see what I can get for him. I want a starting power forward. Ante Zizic, Harry Giles, Terrence Davis, Austin Rivers. So I'm not really seeing anything there. Let me see if I can look around the league for a starting caliber power forward that I could find. Miles Turner, what else? Porzingis, Aaron Gordon, $18 million. I might be able to make that work. Kyle Kuzma, I would have to throw in a lot of picks if I think I was going to get him. Julius Randle, 25-year-old Julius Randle. I wonder how easy he would be to get. Let's see what they'd want for him. We might not be able to, Julius Randle would be awesome. Not somebody I get very often either, but I might come back to Julius Randle. So Porzingis, Aaron Gordon, okay, Kings, Marvin Bagley, probably not going to be possible to trade for. Justice Winslow, John Collins, obviously would have been nice. Jaren Jackson, JaMychal Green, Larry Nance. You know what? I might just get JaMychal Green. He is a very decent starting power forward, and he won't be that. I don't feel like he would be that expensive. So Tony Snell for JaMychal Green, and you give me, let's say you give me this guy as well or something. Okay, still not going to be working. How about give me this guy? Okay, seriously, come on. I mean, all right, what about you give me Mike Scott instead? How about this? I mean, this obviously is going to work. What if we threw in a future first for JaMychal? Okay, you know what? I'm not throwing more than that. So let's go back to the Julius Randle idea. So Julius Randle on the New York Knicks. Let's see where he is. Let's see if we could get this man. So we probably would have to throw in quite a bit to get him. So Tony Snell, we still need, the Pistons require $3 more million than allowed. So what could we throw in here? Luke Kennard, we could throw in probably Bruce Brown and Jordan Bone or something like that. Or Kyrie Thomas. And we still need $523K still in the trade. And Ashton Higgins. So all this for Julius Randle. No? How about another future first? Do we throw in another one for Julius Randle? I mean, I think we do. And we still don't get him. So you know what? Screw that idea. We don't get Julius Randle. Do I just sign Bjelica and call it a day? Like, I really don't want to do that. I really don't. Or do I just move Sekou Doumbouya back to power forward and have Steve Mikhailuk start the small forward or something? I don't know, man. I'm torn. So, what other affordable? Johnson, Bismack Biyombo, Kennard, Taco Fall. Play him at the power forward would be Myers Leonard. He could stretch the floor. He'll be good for a season or so. We'll see how that goes. Probably not going to be that great, but he's going to be a short-term option at the power forward spot, and then we'll free up some more money once his face is gone. Sekou Doumbouya obviously goes up quite a bit. We have, definitely starting roster to where we're getting to the point where we can, keep building from here. Hopefully to a championship roster at one point. But than that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and simulate to the end of next season. And we'll see how this goes. At the end of the second season, we ended up winning 2 more games than last time. So I ended up changing the rotation a bit. So I actually moved Chris Middleton back to the small forward and moved Sekou Doumbouya back to power forward. And I thought that would help out our power forward situation a lot, and it didn't really. I mean, obviously we didn't make the playoffs, so I mean, there's still some moves to be made to where we can make this team better. Not too much though. I think I really like our core starting 5. The shooting guard, wasn't the best. Luke Kennard really didn't do much of anything, and we end up with the 7th pick overall. So I kind of want to use that and use that as a trade piece, because I think we have some pieces to where maybe we could attach Chris Middleton. I did extend Derrick Rose as well because I think I like him as a 6th man a lot. Thomas Bryant, is a nice backup center. Kyrie Thomas, I did extend him. Kind of want him to be the backup shooting guard, and I think I might do a sign-in trade with Luke Kennard. So what could, let's just say Chris Middleton in the 7th pick. What could that give me? Gonna get Tobias Harris. Now it would definitely solve our power forward spot situation, and we could also move Sekou Doumbouya back to small forward. So now it's something to consider. Cousins, Buddy Hield, Gallinari, Jamal Murray, Miles Turner, Brandon Ingram, and DeMar DeRozan, and John Wall. So I like the idea of getting Tobias Harris, but not for the 7th pick overall. So what if we just did like a swap, and let's see if they would take this. They want my 2020 picks still. How about I trade a future 2nd and a future 1st? And they still, okay, they want 3. Okay, they want 2. They want to give me Bismack Biyombos, and they want a lottery protected 2021 pick. So if we're in the lottery, we get our pick back, but if not, no, you really shouldn't be doing this trade in real life. I really don't think the 76ers or the Pistons shouldn't be doing this trade, but Tobias Harris is going to be coming back to Detroit. I like him for the power forward spot, so we're going to get him there and then move him to power forward. That way I can move Sekou Doumbouya back to small forward. That way he can be at his full overall, and then we can move Tobias Harris back to power forward. He goes down 3 overall, but that's all right. So RJ Hampton, Derrick Rose is still good. Like I said, we might do a sign-in trade with Luke Kennard, and we still have our 7th pick overall, so it's a win-win. So 7th pick, if we could, sign Luke Kennard to his contract now and attach him with the 7th pick, that would be nice. But let's see if we can just draft somebody who, could be somewhat decent. Zara Wade, I mean, that is going to be a great acquisition to the team. And we could trade Zara Wade, or we could trade someone else. So, I mean, Zara Wade's not somebody I've ever gotten before. Dwayne Wade's sons, awesome stuff there. And then qualifying offers. Like I said, I'm going to probably try to attempt to bring most of those guys back. but negative $8 million in cap space. Tony Snell's contract can go. Myers Leonard, I'm not going to bring him back. Bruce Brown, probably not going to bring him back. But then I'll let it go. So now we have RJ Hampton, Derrick Rose, and we have Zara Wade and Ashton Higgins. Shooting guard, we have Kyrie Thomas. Could Zara Wade play shooting guard, or could RJ Hampton? I bet one of them could. Do I just do that? Derrick Rose could, but I don't want to do that. RJ Hampton stays the same. Zara Wade goes up. So, I mean, we might run it something like that. So, RJ Hampton and Zara Wade in the backcourt, you know, something like that. Sekou Doumbouya at the small forward, Tobias Harris at the power forward. And then we have Andre Drummond and Thomas Bryant at the center spot. You know, kind of a young veteran team with a couple of veterans. Kind of like the roster and how it's shaping out. Derrick Rose, 32 years old, is the oldest player on the roster. Is always going to be a nice six-man. So, like I said, what I think I'll do is probably do a sign-in trade with Luke Kennard. Steve Luke and Jordan Bone are probably going to head out the door. And then if we could get Luke Kennard on a contract, and we could go ahead and do a sign-in trade with him, get like a backup small forward for him or something, I would be cool with that. So let's see where he's at. So Luke Kennard wants $7 million a year. I'll go ahead and give him, you know, probably like 10 mil a year, and we'll trade him. That's what we'll do. So as long as he is tradable, which he should be, and we'll trade him for a backup small forward, you know, to a team that could use a guy like Luke Kennard. I don't want to trade any more first. I already have. So we could get Wang Zeeland from the Grizzlies. We could get Alfred Camino, a first-round pick from the Knicks. So we could get a first-round pick for him, which I might end up doing that because I think that's the best. Or we could get Jabari Parker as well. Move him to small forward, but I think that's doing too much. So I think I'm going to take that first-round pick from the Knicks. That way they take Luke Kennard off our hands and we do a sign and trade and at least get something for him. So I'm so cool with that. And I think that's all we need. Do we have a 9-man rotation? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, you know, kind of need at least one more player at backup forward somewhere. So let's see if we can go get one in free agency real quick. Kuzma is going to be a little bit too expensive. So let me go to the affordable section. Jeremy Grant off the bench would be absolutely nice. Got Jeremy or Chetty Osman wouldn't be bad either. But I have Tobias Harris right now. So Jeremy Grant, you know, would be a nice flex option. Not really. I don't know why I said flex option, but he'd be a nice piece off the bench, and he goes to the Lakers, which that would be a good pickup for them as well. But let's go with Osman, I guess. Gotta get him. Let's see if he accepts. Nope, he goes to the Grizzlies, which that would be a good fit for him as well. We just go like Rondé off the bench, or Derek Jones Jr. or Denzel Valentine. You know, Denzel Valentine wouldn't be too bad. Not somebody I get, at all really. So I don't think I've ever gotten Denzel Valentine, but he'll be a nice backup small forward. Bruce Brown's back as well, so we'll take that as well. Tobias Harris goes down 2 overall, unfortunately. But we'll go ahead and, you know, look at the 9-man rotation together this time, because this very well could be the last season. I'm hoping it is, because, you know, this roster is constructed in a way where once we start the rebuild process, we're going to be right in it, because we could eventually trade Andre Drummond, Derrick Rose, and not saying I'll get that far in the video, but if the Pistons were to construct a team like this where they have 3 young players like RJ Hampton, Zara Wade, that would be just like, you know, awesome. That would be a very good way to go about it. And then you could trade them eventually if you need be, and then you'd be all set really. So liking this a lot. So let's go ahead and get to the 9-man rotation. That way we can look at it all together. But you can kind of already see the starting 5. That's kind of the starting 5 I want to start right there. I think RJ Hampton, Zara Wade, Sekou Doumbouya, Tobias Harris, and Andre Drummond would be absolutely perfect. Tobias Harris and Andre Drummond could be trade candidates in the future, like I said. A nice young core. Then you have some young players off the bench as well. I mean, I've liked this rebuild so far. I think it's gone well. I think it went a lot better than the Magic rebuild. I think I made some mistakes here and there. Of course, I'm not perfect by any means, but I like where we're going with this video. I like where we're going. So let's go ahead and see if it can, you know, transfer to the results here on 2K, though. We all know 2K doesn't like me, but we'll see. So we have RJ Hampton, Zara Wade, Sekou Doumbouya, Tobias Harris, Andre Drummond, D Rose off the bench, Thomas Bryant off the bench, Bismack Biyombo, and Kyrie Thomas. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw Bismack Biyombo off the bench. I don't really want him starting, and Denzel or in the rotation at all, and Denzel Valentine will get those last 16 minutes. So yeah, that's looking good. And now let's actually even do this. I'm actually gonna do something a little bit different as well. So let's go ahead and take some minutes from Thomas Bryant, a little bit of minutes here, a little bit of minutes from Derrick Rose. So we have 4 minutes to give. I wanted Zara Wade to get a lot of minutes as well. So our starting 5, you know, all playing 30 minutes, which is what I want. 4-star rating at balance. Could we go up anywhere else? It doesn't look like it, so I'll keep it at balance. Similar to this last season. And let's see what happens. For this last season, we end up going 56-26. So one thing I've realized is I think I've forgotten to show the stats the first 2 seasons, which I'm incredibly sorry about. I just forget. I just don't know why I did. Okay, but anyways, 20 points from Tobias Harris, 18 from RJ Hampton, and we had 18 from Andre Drummond, 18 and 15. 2 blocks, 15.5 rebound, or 15.5 points from Zara Wade. 15 from Sekou Doumbouya, had about 7 assists and 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Derrick Rose with 14, Thomas Brown with 8, Denzel Valentine did his thing. So yeah, 56-26. Is this the year we finally, obviously this is the first time we've made the playoffs in the video, but could we make it to the NBA Finals on our first chance here? So we're up 1-0, 2-0. Can we go up 3-0? We do. And can we sweep the Cavaliers 3-1? Do not blow a 3-0 lead, dude. Just don't do it. Okay, we beat them 4-1, and now we're facing the Boston Celtics. Let's see if we can beat them as well. They're up 1-0 to start. 2-0. Please don't do this, dude. Please don't freaking. All right, guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and simulate one more season, keep the team the same, and we should be able to bounce back. For the very last season, we do end up making the playoffs. We went 44-38 this time, so at least we're in, right? I mean, I can't complain about that. We could have not have made it. Tobias Harris still led the way with 21 points. RJ Hampton with 18. Here are the stats across the board. You know, pretty decent stats from all around. But could we go ahead and beat the Toronto Raptors in the first round is the question. They don't have Kawhi anymore. 2-0. Dude, don't do this again, dude. 2K. Are you freaking kidding me? 3-1. Don't do it again, man.